Hello students, this is the continuation of the video on electronics. In the last lecture, I have discussed about the transistor characteristics and transistor as an amplifier. In this lecture, we will start from load line and operating point, and we will try to see different types of transistor biasings. That is, then which biasing will be help the transistor to act efficiently. First, let us start with load line and operating point. First, let me draw one transistor in common emitter configuration, which is acting as an amplifier. The circuit that we have discussed in the previous lecture, suppose I am considering one PNP transistor. This is the emitter, this is base, and this is collector, and I have considered one PNP transistor, so this is PNP, and here is a small AC signal which is to amplify. Then I am having the battery here connected with the base terminal, and there will be one load resistance through which or across which the voltage drop will be calculated. Then there is another battery. Now our idea is very simple. Now the emitter base junction should be forward bias, so negative will be connected with the negative, and collector base junction will be reverse bias, so this positive and this P part will be connected with the negative side of the battery. Emitter base junction forward bias, collector base junction is reverse bias, so P will be connected with N. This is this transistor was considered, this is NPN according to the arrow sign, so the connection will be different. Let us make it PNP for simplicity of understanding. Let us make it PNP, as I have written PNP here. PNP, arrow is inwards, so this is PNP, and the connection will be emitter base junction forward bias, emitter to base junction, this is forward bias, collector to base junction, this will be reverse bias. Fine. These two battery, you can make it variable battery. This is RL, the load resistance across which you will calculate the voltage drop, or you measure the voltage drop. Here is the collector current flowing IC, and this is the emitter current IE, and this is the base current IB. Now if I draw the transistor output characteristics, the output characteristics of the transistor in common emitter configuration, the output parameters are the output voltage, that is VCE, input voltage VBE, input current IB, output current IC. So output characteristics will look like, output characteristics in this side I will plot IC and VCE in the x-axis. How the circuit will look like? The circuit will look, the graph will look like this one, and this is for IB, the input current IB equals to 0. This is for IB equals to suppose 10 microammeter. This is IB equals to 20 microammeter, and so on. The last class we have discussed that this region will be called the saturation region. This is the active region, and below IB equals to 0, this region is called cutoff region. Now we will be discussing about the load line and the operating point. For this output circuit, if we apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law, the battery voltage is VCC. I can write for the output circuit, this is closed circuit, VCC, that will be equals to IC into RL, voltage drop across RL plus voltage drop across the collector to emitter junction plus VCE. So now I can write the value of VCE or IC. I can write from this equation that IC equals to IC into RL, let us write first. IC into RL, that will be equals to VCC minus VCE. So I can write IC equals to minus of 1 by RL into VCE plus VCC by RL. Now compare this with the equation y equals to mx plus c. This is the equation of a straight line, and where IC is the y-axis and VCE is the x-axis, as we have sketched in the output characteristics curve. IC in the y-axis, VCE in the x-axis, and C is the intercept, M is the slope. So now if I draw the straight line IC equals to minus 1 by RL into VCE, that is slope is negative, plus VCC by RL, the curve will look like this one. This will be the equation. IC equals to minus VCE by RL plus VCC by RL. Now what will be the value of the interception on the x-axis or VCE axis, and what will be the value of the interception on the IC axis? For the IC axis, you have to put here the value of VCE equals to 0. So in this equation, if you put VCE equals to 0 in this equation, then you are getting IC equals to VCC by RL. So this point, the value of this point will be equals to 0 VCC by RL. Similarly for this point, you have to put IC equals to 0. If you put IC equals to 0, then RL will cancel out and VCE will be equals to VCC. So this point will be equals to VCC, 0. And this straight line is called a load line. And the load line intercepting the output characteristics curve on certain points, these points are called the operating point or Q point. As of now, you have to only understand that the load line and the operating point are such a thing that load line is a straight line drawn from the output curve of the transistor, which is biased properly, and the straight line intercepting on few points on the output axis is known as the operating point or Q point. And how better is the load line, and because of that how good efficient transistor you have manufactured, that we will discuss in the next lectures. Now let us start the transistor biasing. There are how many types of transistor biasings are possible? And which biasing is good? How to analyze it? The simplest way to understand or analyze is to check out the stability factor. Stability factor, this S, can be written as delta IC by delta ICO. In a common base configuration, instead of ICO, you can write ICBO. In the common emitter configuration, you can write ICEO, etc. This is the leakage current or small signal current, and delta IC is the change in the value of the collector current or the output current. The stability factor is calculated by this S. Also, there are some other formulae. There is delta IC by VBE, delta IC by IB. It is double prime, is single prime. You can consult any book, you will get different definitions of that. But with this process, we will try to analyze the different types of biasing and try to analyze which biasing is good and which is not. We will start from a particular biasing. The name of the biasing is fixed bias. What is a fixed bias circuit? The circuit, I am showing it in common emitter configuration. Suppose this is one arrow is outwards. So this is a PNP transistor. PNP transistor. This is the emitter. This is base and this is collector. And there is a small AC current. The emitter is grounded or common. Then you are having one resistance here, another resistance here connected with the base. One single battery is good enough for the connection. Collector junction is reverse bias. If you make collector junction reverse bias, P will be connected. This is outwards. So if it is outwards, I am making the same mistake again and again. Outwards means it is NPN. This is N, this is P, and this is N. NPN transistor. In the NPN transistor outward arrow, N would be connected. Collector junction is reverse bias, so this will be connected with the positive side of the battery. Make this battery, you can make it variable, and you are measuring the output voltage from this thread across the ground is V0. So across this resistance you are measuring the voltage drop. So this will be the load resistance RL. There is another resistance connected which will be called RB or base resistance. Now you can check the connection whether the base junction or emitter base junction is reverse bias or not. This is NPN, so base is P. Check it out, base is connected with P. So emitter base junction is already forward bias and collector base junction is reverse bias. The biasing is done with the help of a single battery. Two resistances are there. One is load resistance connected across the collector or the output junction, and with the input junction another resistance RB is connected, through which the base current is flowing IB, and through RL the collector current IC is flowing. Now for this circuit, in the output region, if you calculate the input and output circuits, you can write from the battery. Suppose I am connecting the input circuit. The input circuit will be start from the battery. It's going through that, this line and this line, this line and that line. This is the input circuit. So for the input circuit, I can write that the battery potential VCC that will be equals to first IB into RB plus this voltage drop, that is VBE. So from this equation you can easily calculate the value of IB. IB will be equals to VCC minus VBE divided by RB. You know the equation IC equals to beta IB plus beta plus 1 into IC BO, the small signal current or leakage current. So you now put the value of IB that you have calculated out. It will be beta into VCC minus VBE divided by RB, and this equation we are getting from transistor characteristics that we have already discussed in the class, plus beta plus 1 into IC BO. Now calculate the stability factor. Stability factor by equals to delta IC by ICO or ICBO. So differentiate both the sides with respect to ICBO. If you are differentiating both the sides with respect to ICBO, the left hand side will give you the stability factor delta IC by delta IC BO. The right hand side, this factor will be 0. So we are getting the stability factor is equals to beta plus 1. The value of beta is nothing but HFE. The value of beta always is very high for transistor. It varies from 100 to 200 or 500 depending upon the nature of the transistor, whether it is PNP or NPN, or what type of transistor, because of what purpose the transistor is manufactured. So always the value of stability factor is greater than 1 here. But we know the lower the stability factor, the better the circuit configuration. So as here we are calculating the value of stability factor much greater than 1. This is not a very good type of biasing. Now let us move forward to another circuit with an aim to make the stability factor very small. The lower the stability factor, the better the biasing. So the next circuit that we are targeting will be the name collector to base bias. Collector to base bias, same configuration with the transistor. You can make it with PNP or NPN, any type of transistor. Suppose we are making it with one anything. In the previous two circuits it was made with the PNP, now make it with NPN, and now make it with PNP. So inverse means it is P, it is N, P. I will not make the mistake again now. This is emitter, this is base, and this is collector. And this configuration looks like, first there is one resistance, from that one resistance is coming here, this is RB and this is R, L or RC, whatever you call it. In different books you will get different name. This is RL. Then there comes the circuit with the battery, emitter is common, and in the input circuit one small AC signal is connected. Now you have to make the biasing with the battery. I know the collector junction should be reverse bias, emitter junction should be forward bias. So collector junction reverse bias, P will be connected with N always, like that. You can make the battery variable. Now through which you are measuring the voltage drop, through this RL you are measuring the voltage drop. So connect one circuit here, this is V0, through which across the ground you are measuring the voltage drop. This configuration of the battery is known as, this configuration of the transistor is known as collector to base bias. This is VCC, the variable battery, plus through which the current is flowing. IC is flowing and RB is flowing. RB is flowing through this circuit. This is IB, and through which the current will be flowing equals to IB plus IC both. And now only after this one, IB plus IC is coming all together here through this one. Then IB is bypassing, so through which the current will flow. So the C, that is IC only. The voltage drop across these 2 points, that is the base junction and the emitter junction, is VBE, and the voltage drop across the output junction, that is the collector and emitter, equals to VCE. Fine. So here also in the input and output circuit, according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, I can do the calculation. The calculation is not very lengthy, it is done in any book. I will show you the process of calculation. You will calculate it your own, consulting any book. How to calculate it? First you have to calculate the value of IB and IC separately, and you have to put in the formula, that is IC equals to beta IB plus beta plus 1 IC BO. The formula is known to you, and the same formula we have used already. So in the output circuit or in the input circuit, you apply first Kirchhoff's voltage law. Let us apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in the input circuit. The input circuit will start from here, it will go through here, 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 then it will complete here. So how the circuit will look like? First you are measuring, suppose IB. Directly you can write the value of IB. Okay, don't write it directly, do the steps. First, from the Kirchhoff's voltage law, VCC, battery potential, that will be equals to IB plus IC into RL here through this resistance. Then it is bypassing, then plus IB into RB plus this potential, then through this, then this potential, plus V BE. So from this equation you can easily calculate the value of IB. You can easily calculate the value of IB. IB will be equals to something. Then you put the value of IB here. After putting the value of IB here, you calculate the value of stability factor, delta IC by delta IC BO. The stability factor that we have discussed, IC by IC BO. Then you put it here. After putting, then you will be getting the value of delta IB by IC BO, like beta plus 1 divided by 1 plus beta RL divided by RB plus RL. like that. Now in books you will find 2 or 3 cases are considered. The first case is case 1. It is considered that RB, it is much greater than RL. So you consider RB is much greater than RL, so you can neglect the value of RL. Then the stability factor, the value of if you consider that RB is much greater, so it will be something infinitely high. So beta plus 1 divided by 1 plus very infinitely high value. So you are getting RB plus RL is nearly equals to RB only, very high value, and the stability factor will be S will be much less than beta plus 1. It is OL stability, but our aim is to take the stability factor nearly equals to 1. Another case you can consider, case 2, that is RL is much greater than RB. If you consider that RL equals to much greater than RB, this RB can be neglected. RL by RL equals to 1. So 1 plus beta, here also 1 plus beta, the stability factor will be nearly equals to 1. That is the OL stability. But making RB and RL exactly equal is quite difficult. But this circuit is better than the previous circuit, that is fixed bias, but not as better as the next circuit that we are going to consider, that is called self bias circuit. The self bias circuit is maximum stable circuit. If you consider all the transistor configuration or all the transistor biasing systems, let me sketch the circuit first. I am considering one NPN transistor. NPN transistor, it will give you outward direction arrow, and it will be connected with 4 resistances. This is the first resistance, second resistance, third resistance, and 4 resistances. Here will be small AC signal. It is connected like that. Emitter is common. These 2 junctions. Then we connect it with the battery. As it is NPN transistor, this side will be N, P, N. Collector junction should be reverse bias. N should be connected then with the positive side of the battery, like that. And across this point you are going to measure the output voltage V0 across ground. So this is VCC. This resistance will be called R1, this resistance is R2, and this resistance is RE, and that resistance is RL, through which the current will flow, IB plus IC. There will be a bypass. The current will be divided. Through this one IC current will flow, and through this one the IB current will only flow. The voltage drop across these 2 points is VBE. Voltage drop across these 2 points is VCE. But calculation with that circuit is little difficult. In some books you will find that here 2 capacitors are adjusted like that. You can put the capacitors here. Here also some capacitor is adjusted like that, or there is a bypass circuit to make it ground well. In some books you will find that, but this is not very necessary from the point of view of transistor biasing. Calculation with that circuit is little difficult, so that this circuit is converted into equivalent circuit with the help of Thevenin's theorem. I am drawing the same equivalent circuit. After applying Thevenin's theorem, there will be one resistance RE. Here will be one resistance or converted resistance. Then one battery here. This point will be grounded. There will be one resistance. There will be the battery, like that. This will be VCE and this will be VT, Thevenin's equivalent battery, and this value will be R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. I can call it VCC, collector battery. Thevenin's equivalent resistance RT will be equals to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and through these 2 points you can measure the voltage drop VBE. Across these 2 points you can measure the voltage drop VCE, and this will be the resistance RL, and there will be one bypass capacitor for well grounding, like this one. Now applying Kirchhoff's voltage law in the input circuit, you can get VT equals to VT, that will be equals to RT, R suffix T, RT into IB plus VBE plus I into RE. So from that you can easily get the value of IB. Then you will put the value in the equation. IC equals to beta IB plus beta plus 1 IC BO. Then as the previous calculations, you consult any book now. The calculation is little lengthy because the Thevenin's equivalent voltage and Thevenin's equivalent resistance you have to put in the equation. Put the value of IB from this equation, replace IB, then calculate the value of delta IC divided by delta IC BO. That will give you the stability factor, and for this self bias circuit the stability factor will be tending to 1. Yes, it will be tending to 1, and that is the comparatively better biasing than the other two, that is connected to base bias or the self bias. The calculation part that I have not shown here, if you do not get in any book or if you do not understand, write me through the WhatsApp thread, then I will do it for you. And if you are getting that, you have to solve it your own, and after solution you upload your solution, take a snapshot and upload in the WhatsApp thread that you have calculated it and you have understood it. After that I will send you the continuation of the videos. Thank you.